Gideon Levy is a columnist at Haaretz newspaper. He's joining us from Tel Aviv. Good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. Benjamin Netanyahu refers to this relationship with India as a special relationship. That's a phrase we usually hear about Israel's relationship with the US. This is not a relationship that has the same profile as the relationship with the US, but how deep does it go?
It goes quite deep. I wouldn't underestimate this visit, and I wouldn't underestimate those relationships. In times where Israel is almost a pariah state in Europe and in many other places on the universe, the Indian Prime Minister comes to Israel to an official visit, speaks to the parliament, signs huge arms deals and other economical deals. You cannot underestimate it. India is a highly important country, and showing himself in Israel in those times when public opinion in India is very critical about Israel is a step that cannot be underestimated.
Israel, of course, has been described by its critics as being isolated in the world. But to what extent would this relationship with India ameliorate that and help to balance it out?
No, it cannot balance it out because Israel is still carrying the 2 years of terrible war in Gaza and the international price that it pays. This will not be deleted soon. But yes, it has a lot of meaning when on one hand, the United States stands side by side with Israel. And on the other hand, this rising power, India, nobody can ignore it.
Our correspondent Noorode was describing there the kind of headline relationships, if you like, between the two countries. Obviously, the main one being arms sales by Israel to India. But there are other elements as well, aren't there, in terms of like labor supply into Israel and other economic elements to this. Can you just briefly run through how kind of entwined these two countries are?
So first of all, there are some similarities. I mean, not in the size, obviously, but both countries were established in the same year. And both countries, fortunately or unfortunately, are facing quite a similar regime now, a similar prime minister. There are a lot of similarities between Modi and Netanyahu, both of them nationalists, most of them populist in a way, and quite conservative and hawkish. Both countries carry also some stains. Kashmir, Palestine, the West Bank. There are many similarities, and the relationship really improved dramatically. I still remember the years in which there were no diplomatic relations at all, and it was very hard for Israelis to go to India. Many Israelis go there for tourism. High-tech, a lot of collaboration between India and Israel, many other economical fields where there is collaboration, agriculture, and above all, the arms deals. But above all this, there is this strategic feeling that India is trying to find a way to create here a coalition against the Chinese involvement in the Middle East.
I mentioned before that India was one of the first countries to recognize a Palestinian state. That was back in 1988. It's also got close relationships with Iran, as well as several other countries in the Middle East. Does that suggest that there is a route for what you might call backdoor diplomacy for Israel? Should it attempt to try to have contacts with these countries, that India would be a conduit for that?
I'm not sure India is interested in being involved in this. There are no signs that anybody asked India to go between, and that India has an interest now to become a mediator. Yes, it is true that India is maybe the only country in the world with very good relations, both with Russia, with the United States, with Iran, and with Israel. It's quite unusual. But I don't think that India is going to play any role on this aspect.
Gideon Levy, columnist at Haaretz newspaper. As always, we appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Rob.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.